Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mitchell. Hey, today's video, I'm going to talk about alcohol really does nothing for you. I'm a little hungover, and that's why I'm filming this video, okay? Now, I'm not as bad as I was this morning. I got home at like 3:30 last night, and I woke up at, I think I had like 4 hours of sleep, and I literally was just like, nah, I ain't getting up. And then I've been in bed for most of the day. I think I got up around like 2 or 3, and like that was when I was able to actually like get up, because I got up earlier in the morning, tried to like drink coffee and eat, and I couldn't do it. I was like, I had cereal, had some coffee, and I just immediately went back to bed as fast as I could and just tried to sleep all day. So this video about alcohol, then, it's gonna be more for the younger guys that watch this channel. I'm 29 right now, so the older you get, the worse alcohol like affects you. Also, the more you drink, the more hungover you're gonna get, obviously. Um, with that being said, then alcohol is, yeah, it's fun when you're drinking it, but I want to talk about all the repercussions that it has on you and why I believe you should stay away from drinking a lot of it if you can. Now, if you're younger, like the population of guys I have that watch this video, that's like 18 to, I think, maybe 20. I was 18 to 22 before I became in a wheelchair. So let's just say 18 to 25, that range right there. When you're younger like that, everyone goes, guys and girls go through this phase. I call it like the party phase. Like, all I wanted to do when I was a bartender was go out. I would go out, finish the bar, I'd go out, I'd get drunk, I'd smoke a bunch of cigarettes because I smoked at the time, did some other stuff, and then I would want to just hook up with girls. That's all I wanted to do. Now, I'm 29, and I live in a brand new house, so I've got bills I have to pay. Drinking, as I just told you, makes me feel like absolute fucking garbage, but yet I did it last night for like the first time in a long time. I'm gonna touch on that in a second. But my priorities are changed, man. Like, I'm not like I don't care about going out and doing this until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning every single day like I used to. Or not every single day, but for the most part, a couple times a week. And the reason why is the more mature you get, the more your priority is going to shift. Okay, and here's why I don't think you should drink as much alcohol or a lot of alcohol. If anything, don't drink it regularly. Like, I haven't done something like this in probably well over a year. And okay, so when you're drinking in the moment, like, yeah, sure, you get buzzed, you start having fun, and you're like, oh, this is great. And then if you're someone like me, once we start drinking, we keep going. Well, one thing, I went to this place called Ed's, then I went to this place called Tommy Bahama's, and after Tommy Bahama's, then I ended up going to a place called Linksters, and I hate that place. Yet I still went there, and I had a blast, man. Met a bunch of girls, got a bunch of phone numbers. So, like, as far as meeting women goes, yeah, it was a success. But was it really, when I look at the repercussions of how I feel this morning, the amount of work that I didn't get done today because I wasted a full Saturday just laying in bed? Not only that, it's the amount of money that I spent last night that I don't even think I know what it was. It's got to be at least $100 or close to that. And then too, it's like I've been feeling like garbage all day long. So I haven't been productive. I haven't got any work done until now, and I'm only filming this right now because I just went out and ate food at this place called Michelangelo's, and I had pizza, had some coffee, had a piece of cheesecake, so I spiked my sugar. So I'm feeling good enough right now to want to film this, and that's why I'm doing that. So that's the first thing is, man, so if you're somebody that doesn't make like a whole lot of money, or you're not in a position where you could just spend a whole bunch of money, well, going out and drinking a lot of alcohol, like beer, wine, or liquor, like that does add up. You got your bar tab at one place or a couple places that you go to, and then you got to tip them every single time. Now, if you're someone that can stick to like 2 drinks, then yeah, that's fine, man. Go ahead, have a drink wherever you go. Like, I'll go out to dinner with just me and the dog, and I'll have like a beer, and that's it. Because that one beer doesn't really do anything to you. But the amount of money that you spend isn't worth the fun, like the temporary fun, because you're spending all this money on something that doesn't bring you any return. Like, yeah, like I said, you might feel good in that moment, but what is alcohol doing to you long term? Like, you're gonna feel like garbage. You're spending money. You're not gonna function like properly. So you might say things or do things that you wouldn't normally do, which you probably shouldn't do or shouldn't say. And then now we come to the decision making, because alcohol messes with your decision makings. In the moment, when if you're talking to like a girl, or if a buddy tells you we should do something and you normally want to do it, well, depending on how drunk you are, you might end up doing that. And that's not that. Every decision has a consequence, bro. So just remember that. In that moment, when you hook up with a chick that you wouldn't normally want to hook up with, or if you do like drugs that you wouldn't normally do, or if you go and spend or buy something that you know you shouldn't buy because you've been drinking, that's why. The consequence of drinking alcohol is now you're going to make decisions because you're not coherent enough to make a proper decision, for lack of better words. Not only that, the after effect of when you wake up the next morning is arguably what's going to be worse than the temporary night of fun. Well, I think alcohol, I don't know how long it takes to get out of your system, but like I said, like today, I did absolutely, oh, damn, sorry. I did absolutely nothing today. I slept all day long. I didn't even get to go to the gym, and I love going to the gym on Saturdays. There's so much people there. Granted, I probably needed to take the day off, but at the same time, you get this awful like nauseous feeling in your body. You get a fucking headache that just hurts so fucking bad. So not only do you have a headache, you're in pain, but then your stomach's nauseous, so you feel like you're going to throw up all day long. I was laying in bed. I was sober, but yet I still felt like my head was spinning. So maybe I still wasn't. Maybe I was still drunk. Who knows? Um, but that's going to last like all day long. And then if you're someone like me, so when I throw up, for example, and I don't usually throw up when I drink, but if I ever get to that point where I start throwing up, some people say they start feeling better. I'm the opposite. I get worse. Then I really don't want to do anything. So another thing too, I've got a big ass German Shepherd in the house, and he's got to be walked or he's got to be exercised somehow. And me being in a wheelchair on top of being hungover makes dealing with that guy in there so much more difficult. Do you think I wanted to take him outside? Fuck no. I wanted to sleep in bed. I felt like shit. So we took him to this pizza place with me, and he just laid there. But I got him out of the house, so at least he got out of the house. So you listen to all these negatives of what I'm saying in this video. Like, you might be someone right now that might enjoy drinking, and if that's the case, if you drink often, then your priorities in life probably need to shift. You probably need to start focusing on like making more money than going out and partying every day. But again, everyone goes through that party phase. Like, you can't skip it. I would just suggest to the men that watch this that they try to get out of that phase sooner rather than later, okay? Because especially if we look at from like a man to a woman, women typically date like older guys for the most part because they've got like their life together. So when you're younger like I was, and that's all you wanted to do was go out and party, well, you don't know, like women are looking for like security, maturity. And so when you're younger and you don't study anything about women, and you don't know how attraction works, and you don't watch videos like this one where I'm teaching you like, hey, the women look for this stuff. Well, back then I didn't know it either. So I was going out thinking that if I was just going to meet a girl, it was because we liked each other. But I didn't know that women like subconsciously go for older men because they're bred differently than we are. Like, women look for different things in men, whereas us men are more into like physical looks. Like, yeah, she's fucking sexy. I want to have sex with her. Yeah, that's awesome. And she's probably like, well, he's young. He looks like he's out partying. And judging by his outfit, he doesn't look like he's got a really good job. But that older guy over there, he's got a nice suit on. He's a little, looks like 10 years older than this younger guy. But he's still attractive, and I bet he makes more money than this guy. That's just how women think. Now, that might sound like women are only into guys with like a lot of money, and they're not, man. They're not. But from an evolutionary standpoint, women have always been. You ever heard like the red pill community throws this around, where it's like hypergamy, where women are hypergamous. They're always going to look for the best option. I think that's true for everybody, men and women. Men are always going to want the hottest girl they can get. Women are always going to want the best male figure that they can get. Now, where I also disagree with that is attraction is handled by Mother Nature. So if you're not the richest man in the world and this girl still finds you attractive, she's still going to be into you. And she's still going to be into you, and you still have a possibility of dating this girl. I've been with ex-girlfriends that didn't care about how much money I had. So I'm proof right there that women, for the most part, most of them, they're not going to care how much money you have, but who you are as a man in general. If you have the capability of making more money in the future because your actions are building up towards a life or a better career, well, she's going to find that attractive. And you're going to be more attractive for yourself too. So you don't need a whole lot of money, but you don't want to be a bum laying around doing nothing. That's showing women like, yeah, I don't have a lot of money and I'm not doing anything to make a lot of money. Now, going back to alcohol, since I just got off topic there for a second. So let's go back to that, man. So think about what I just said. Is like I told you I wasn't productive all day. So if you're somebody that wants to start making a lot of money, but yet you're laying around hungover like I fucking was all day long, it's 7 o'clock at night right now, and I'm just now filming a video for YouTube. I could have done this earlier, but I didn't because I wasn't feeling good enough to do that. When you're hungover, like you're in so much like discomfort because your body's just like fighting off the chemicals that your I think it's your liver can't, either your liver or kidney can't break down a specific chemical that alcohol leaves, which is why you get hungover. I don't think it's a lack of nutrients, but I think it is that, from my understanding. I don't know enough about alcohol to say that's the case, but I know there are companies coming out with this like drink this and you won't be hungover the next day, and they have like research behind it. But yeah, so So let's say you went out last night, you had a bunch of fun, you drank a lot. Let's say you hooked up with a girl, like that's cool. But this, like today, you wake up and you're like, bro, I feel like absolute fucking garbage. You're gonna feel like shit all day long. And that's, as a man, like it's our job to pursue our mission, our goal, to be leaders, to pursue the things we're passionate about. And if you're laying around basically dying all day from a hangover, you're not going to get anything done. You're not going to want to get things done. And if you do try to get things done, it's likely not going to be your best effort. And then I don't believe that you should put anything out in the world if it's not your best effort. Now, something is better than nothing, but when you're severely hindered in your performance, both mentally and physically, due to being hungover, the quality of work that you're going to produce is going to be much lower than what you would normally do. And you got to ask yourself, is that something you would be proud of? Probably not. You think I'm proud sitting here filming a video talking about how hungover I've been all day long? No, absolutely not. But I chose to go out last night, and alcohol, the more I drank, the more decisions I made that I wouldn't normally make. And that's why I'm sitting here filming this video for you guys. I get it, man. It's fun, but it's only temporary. And every single time I have done something like this, I have always regretted going out the night before. Now, in this case, because I did meet like a couple girls and I was having fun and I had the dog with me, do I really regret going out? No. But the money I spent on alcohol, I could have spent it on other things that would have benefited me more. That's what I really regret the most, in the way that alcohol makes me feel after. Now, like 29, even on steroids, where you would think my body would be like great. After I have if I have more than 2 beers, that's when I typically start feeling like, okay, tomorrow's going to kind of suck. At the 2 beer mark, I'm usually pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. And then I can go to bed, wake up the next day and feel just fine. Anything more than that, I kind of like tank. So alcohol, let's just recap so I can kind of pick up where I left off. We go out. We have alcohol is temporary fun. You go through this party phase, so it's usually for like younger people. A lot of older people do go out, and depending on how rich you are, if you have nothing else to do, then I guess more power to you. I've met a lot of rich people that drink a lot, but I guess at that point in time, maybe you just can at that level, and I haven't got there yet. So you waste a lot of money on temporary fun. Then you wake up the next day, you feel like garbage, both physically and mentally. Then you're not going to be able to do the things that you want to do because you're not feeling good enough to do that. So, and as far as business goes, think about that. Let's say that you had some really important stuff to do the next day, but you went out the night before, and now this next day comes, and you're not able to produce the work for your client like you said you were going to do. That's going to ruin your business relationship, because this client's going to see, listen, I'm paying you money to help me make money or to help me get a result, and you're choosing to go out and party instead of working for me, or instead of helping me do the thing I'm paying you for. That's not a good look for you, man. It's not a good look for you. There's so many, I could keep going on and on and on about how terrible drinking alcohol, even smoking weed, man. I get it. A lot of people like smoking weed too. But from my experience when it comes to weed, I'm even worse when I get high than when I drink. And I haven't smoked since, I think, high school. I hate it. I absolutely fucking hate smoking weed. Hate it. But I grew up, my dad was an alcoholic, so I guess that's probably why I like alcohol more. But even then, I hope you guys understand, like from a peak performance perspective, when you're hungover the next day, or even if you've had a couple drinks the night before and you wake up and you still think you're feeling fine, alcohol is going to affect your performance the next day. And I'm trying to think of the guy. Somebody told me that it actually affects you for like a couple days after. I'm thinking of like even Ghazi for some reason, but I don't really know if that's who said that or not. Maybe it might have been King Keto, who's Brandon Carter. He might have said that. I mean, regardless, man, for the most part, it just, in general, you got to think about like the life you're trying to live. Like, is it worth having temporary fun, potentially meeting people, or potentially going out and doing the same things you do every night? You go out to a bar with the boys, you have a couple of drinks, but you guys just sit there and like it's fun, and then sometimes it's not fun. You spend a bunch of money, and then you wake up the next day and you feel like garbage. Or do you think it's probably better that if you are going to go out and drink, that you limit yourself to like 2, don't get drunk. That way the next day comes around, you can still function and get everything that you want done. So if you have goals that you need to hit, like going out and maybe like socializing, improving your social skills. Well, if you're hungover, you're not going to want to talk to anybody because you're not going to feel good enough to talk to people. All right, if you got business and it's very tedious and boring work, you're not going to have the energy or the mental capacity to want to do that boring work. That discipline, that's hard stuff, especially when you're not feeling good. So I'm going to end the video here, guys. Listen, I usually pitch my like dating and relationship book in this video. I'm not going to do that. I mean, check the link in the description if you want to check it out. So I guess technically I did promote it. But if you do want to work with me, one-on-one coaching, so we can really fast track your life, link in the description. Click it. You're going to see a video on the next page of what kind of problems I help people with, how my coaching works so well, and how it's going to help you. With that being said, guys, I hope this video can at least open your eyes up to why you really shouldn't be drinking alcohol often, and ideally at all. But I get it, man. Like going out and having one drink every once in a while, that's not a big deal. But what I did last night when I went out and partied like that, that's not fun. I don't feel good. And hopefully you guys can tell just by the way that I'm talking right now. It's not worth the money. It's not worth the time. And then the next morning, dude, you're going to lose like a whole day that you could have been productive or doing something that you wanted to do because you're recovering from the night before. I'm telling you, man, if you're a younger guy watching this, you're going to realize that what Mitchell is saying right now, me, is going to become the truer. This video is going to be more relevant the older you get and the more your priorities shift. And like if you have a family, if you've got like an actual career, if you're not in college or you're not like a server or whatnot, you're going to see, I'm not lying, that alcohol isn't really that fun. So with that being said, guys, hey, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hey, and I'll see you guys in the next one.